of maybe getting closer to resolution on restoring an existing trade deal. We now have this huge trade dispute, if you can call it that, a diplomatic dispute, but with real-world ramifications from Saudi Arabia. Give me your sense of whether Canada handled this properly or not. A tweet from Foreign Affairs, was that too much intervention in another country?
You know, I mean, I think Chrystia Freeland is certainly one of the better ministers in this government, but I don't think they've handled this issue well. Since Stéphane Dion was the foreign minister and both criticized and approved the massive arms deal that Canada negotiated with Saudi Arabia. You know, when you sign a $13.5 billion arms deal, you sort of expect a thank you, especially for the 3,000 jobs that are really at risk in London, Ontario. We should be standing beside a friend and ally like Saudi Arabia. They have the threat from the Islamic State next door that would love to take Mecca and Medina. We want them to be able to defend themselves. We don't want Iran. They've already taken out the government in Yemen, and obviously the Saudis are pushing back against Iran. Obviously, we share the same interests as the Saudis, but, you know, we disagree on some values. But there's no doubt that the Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, is taking the country in the right direction, but also making major reforms on human rights and women's rights. You know, the last time I was in Saudi Arabia on a bilateral visit, I spent some time with now King Salman. We spent 15 minutes talking about women's rights. I think the Saudis respect when you take these conversations direct, face-to-face, and you do it in a respectful manner and not like a Trump-style tweet, which has obviously caused great damage to Canadian interests.
And yet the Saudis have hardened their position. Do you believe that it will make it harder for the release of those women rights activists now?
You know, I mean, I think when you just tweet and then put out statements in Arabic and don't have the courage to look at the leaders face to face. You know, Badawi obviously is a major case between Canada. When I was foreign minister, I took that case directly to senior members of the royal family. Doing it face to face is the most effective way to accomplish results, and not simply doing tweets. This is going to cause major problems for jobs in London, Ontario. It's going to cause major problems in our medical system with the 12,000 to 16,000 Saudi students. You know, agricultural problems, even trade investment. And what's really needed is the Prime Minister to get on a plane and get over to Riyadh and try to resolve this issue. That's in the interests of Canada and Canadian workers and the Canadian people.